Welcome to today's video where we are going to be solving the algebra questions which we have had from 2016 paper 2, 2017 paper 2 and 2018 paper 2. We are going to solve both the GCE questions and the internal paper questions. So stay tuned and let's solve algebra together. Okay, so we are going to start with the 2016 internal paper, the 2016 internal paper 2, solving the algebra question. This paper had 3 algebraic questions that came. Number 1 being on question 5a, the second one was on question 10c, and the third one was on question 12b. So let's start with our first one, which came under question 5a. Question 5a. Question 5a said, simplify x minus 1 over x squared minus 1. Simplify x minus 1 over x squared minus 1. So quickly we are going to solve that one. How do we solve it? So the first one on top, we let it be like that, it's okay. However, the second one that is at the bottom, when we look at it, what we notice is that it is a difference of 2 squares. So if it's a difference of 2 squares, very easy. What do? We keep the top part the way it is, x minus 1 over this one. You apply the rule for the difference of 2 squares, which will be x minus 1, open, close brackets, open again, x plus 1, and you close. The second part has been done. So when you notice, you look at x minus 1 there, x minus 1 there, well, they can cancel each other, they are the same. So you can cancel out that, and you can cancel out that, leaving a 1 there, and you have your answer coming to 1 over x plus 1. And you are done, you have simplified. You get the correct mark, that which is for that question. So we go and answer our second question in the 2016 internal paper. It said, again, question 10c, simplify 7k squared over 20a squared divided by 51k squared over 5a. So I'm going to solve our question 10c. This other side, and what we are being told about question 10c is simplify 17k squared over 20a squared divided by 51k squared over 5a. How do we solve that one? We quickly make sure we change the sign there, so that we were able to solve it. So we maintain this part the way it is, k squared over 20a squared, then you introduce a multiplication sign. So once you introduce a multiplication sign there, what becomes of this is the 5 goes on top, 5a on top over 51k squared coming at the bottom. In that way. Having done that, now we are going to expand the values that we have so that we are able to solve them properly. So we expand all the values that we have so that we are able to solve them properly. So there what we are going to do, it will be 17 times k over 20 times a multiplied by 5 times a over 51 times k times k. So you have that in place. Since you have that in place now, we are going to cancel out what is common. So when we look at what is common there, we check the diagonals. So you check here and there what is common. A and A is common there, so we cancelled. Then you notice that 5 can go in 5 and 5 can go into 20. So 5 there, 1, 5 into 20, 4 times. Apart from that, we check the other diagonal also. So we say K and K there, another K there. Then 17 can also go into 51 3 times. So 17 into 17, 1. 17 into 51 is 3. Having done that, now we can multiply directly. So if we look at what we are left with now, we see there is 1, 1, 1, so 1 there only, times the 1 that is there, so we only have 1 on top, over 4a, there is 4a there, times 3. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus the a, we have 12a as our answer right there. If you do that, you would have answered correctly what was expected of you in the 2016 paper for Algebra question 10C. So we now move on to the next question. We also do the same. We sort it out. We go to our last question in the 2016 internal paper, and the last question said, express 2 over x, express 2 over 2x minus 1, subtract 1 over 3x plus 1 as a single fraction in its simplest form. As a single fraction in its simplest form. So what we are looking at is 212b, and then we are considering, maybe let me change the color of the pen so that they're able to follow properly. So what we are considering is 2 over 2x minus 1 subtract 1 over 3x plus 1. So those are 2 fractions that we have, but then we have to express them as a single fraction in its simplest form. So first things first, you get the common denominator there. So to get the common denominator, so the first things first, what you do is that you get the common denominator there. So since they are both equations which we have there, so what you do is you just put both equations that you have in brackets in that way. Having done that, now you make the denominators that we have to go into the common denominator that we have there. So what you do is if you carry this whole common denominator which we have at the bottom, and we say 2x minus 1 into that common denominator, 2x minus 1 and 2x minus 1 are going to cancel each other, and we are going to have something like 2 over 3x plus 1 minus, we do the same for the other one, we are going to have 1 over, and now this time only pick that one which is that side, so it is 2x minus 1, and you close in that way. When you do that, now you multiply the values that we have outside the brackets with what is inside the brackets. So we say 2 multiplied by 3x there, you get 6x plus 2 times 1, it's a 2, Then negative 1 multiplied by 2x, you get negative 2x. Negative 1 multiplied by negative 1, you get positive 1 over the entire common denominator which you have, which is 2x minus 1 and 3x plus 1, in that order. Correct. So now, having done that, how do we now finish up that question? We are now going to group the like terms. We group the like terms together so that we can solve them. So to group the like terms together, there we have 6x and negative 2x. Then positive 2 plus 1 there over the common denominator which we have. So over the common denominator which we have. So we group 6x minus 2x plus. So we have our 4 there. We have our 4, and then we do 2 plus 1, we get our 3 over the entire common denominator, which is 2x minus 1, 3x plus 1. So you check, is there anything that can be factorized? No. There, no. So this becomes our final answer in that way. So if you did that, you would have answered all the algebra questions that came in the 2016 paper correctly. We now move on to the 27. We now move on to the GCE algebra questions that came in the year 2016. Stay tuned. GCE paper 2. The first question was on algebra, question 1a, which says factorize completely 4x squared minus 16y squared. So what we are putting into consideration is 4x squared minus 16y squared. I have to indicate we are dealing with question 1a. Having written in that way, when you look at that question, one of the things that you notice that it is a difference of two squares. So you treat it as such. How do you deal with the difference of two squares? You make sure you reduce that one, square root everything to get the accurate answers there. So for the square root of 4 is 2, the square root of x squared is x, minus square root of 16 is 4, then 2y squared is y, close. Then you just do the same as this, but you do a plus sign. Okay, so you've done that. However, this one I think you can even factorize it more, because there is a 2 there which there's a 2 also in 4. So what do? You factor out the 2 which is common, and you have brackets like these. Then in the inside you have 2 into 2x squared. You only remain with x minus 2y there. Open, you have x plus 2y there, and you close. That becomes your final answer. We go to the next question, the 2016 GCE paper 2. You then the question 2a. Question 2a said express 4 over 3r minus 2 minus 3 over r plus 5 as a single fraction in its simplest form. As a single fraction in its simplest form. So I'm going to write what we are putting into consideration. We are saying 4 over 3r minus 2, take away 3 over r plus 5. Then we did in the previous questions, you do common denominator, which you just have to pick both of these denominators that you already have to make one common denominator there at the bottom, r plus 5. So 3r minus 2 into that common denominator, it cancels out that one, so you just pick that one. So it becomes 4 open bracket, and we pick that one, r plus 5. Then r plus 5 into that common denominator, that and that cancels itself, so you just pick this other one which is left there. It will be negative 3 xr minus 2. Having done that, you are going to multiply everything that is on top there. 4 multiplied by r, you get 4r. 4 times positive 5, there you get positive 20. Negative 3 times 3r, you get negative 9r. Negative 3 times negative 2, you get positive 6 over the entire common denominator being repeated there. Once you do that, you group the like terms. So the like terms, we have 4r minus 9r plus 20 plus 6 over 3r minus 2 and r plus 5, in that order. So we have our 4r minus 9r plus 20 plus 6 over the common denominator. Let's now solve everything that is on top. Let's finish it somewhere here. So 4r minus 9r gives us negative 5r, plus 20 plus 6 gives us 26 over 3r minus 2 r plus 5, in that way. So if it's to factorize that one, the only thing that is common on top there is a negative 1. So you can do negative 1 open, it will give you positive 5r minus over 3r minus but if you were to leave it here, it would still be okay. This is also okay. So we go to our next question. The last question in the 2016 GCE paper was question 2b on algebra, and it said simplify 3a over 5c squared times 10c cubic over a squared. So we indicate there 2b, and we are considering 3a over 5c squared times 10c cubic over a squared. So to sort that one out, we expand 3 times a over 5 times c times c times 10 times c times c times c over a times a. Then we cancel as common in the diagonals c, 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 c. 5 there, 1, 5 there, 2. A there, 1, A there, also So now, when we multiply everything on top, we have 3. We have 3 times 1 times 2 there, times C, then there's 1 there, times 1 times 1. So all in all, at the bottom also, we have 1 times 1 times 1, so 1 times 1 times 1, you can even skip this step, just wasting time, times that 1 times A there, so we get to have 3 times 2, 6 times C, 6C over A as our answer. (2017) Paper 2 Internal Solving the Algebra questions. The first question came under question 5b, and the question said simplify 14x cubic over 9y squared divided by 7x to the power 4 over 18y cubic. So straight away we are going to calculate that. It came as question 5b, 14x cubic over 9y squared divided by 7x to the power 4 over 18y cubic. Alright, so from there now we start solving. First of all, we change that into multiplication, so you get 14x cubic over 9y squared multiplied by, so you swap these values this side, 18y cubic goes up over 7x to the power 4 comes down. Having done that, then now we expand. When we expand that, what we get is 14 times x times x times x over 9 times y multiplied by 18 times y times y times y over 7 times x times x times x times x, in that way. Now we look at our diagonals and see what is common. So 9 there, 1, 9 there, 2, y there, 1, y there, 1, y there, 1, y there, 1. There's nothing more to cancel, so this has remained 2y. So we check the other diagonal also. So we can start with the bottom, 7 there, 1, 7 there, 2. X there, 1, 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 x there, 1. Okay, we've cancelled everything, so we have x remaining there. So now we have 2 times 1 times 1 times 1, which is 2. 2 times 2, 4. 4 times y gives us 4y over 1 times 1 times 1, 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times x, and it will give us x as the answer. That's where question 5, that was the answer for question 5b 2017 algebra question. We go to the next one, which came under question 7c. Question 7c says simplify 2x squared minus 8 over x plus 2. So with that one, what we do is we have our 2x squared minus 8 over x plus 2. Let's factorize. 2 is common, and we get x squared minus 4 over x plus 2. Let's finish this the other side, over x plus 2 in that way. Okay, so we have, that's what we have over x plus 2 open bracket x squared minus 4 over x plus 2 in that way. So we finish it at the other side there. So there we remain with a difference of 2 squared. So remember our 2 outside, we leave it like that. Difference of 2 squares becomes x minus 2, open and close, open, x plus 2 in that way, over x plus 2 down there. Having done that, we notice that this and this is the same, so you cancel that, that means with a 1, so 1, so which means you remain with 2 open bracket x minus 2 over 1, which is the same as 2 open bracket x minus 2 close as your final answer. That marks the end of the question 7C, which was asking us to simplify. We got the next question, which was question 10B. Question 10B said, express 1 over x minus 4 minus 2 over 5x minus 1 as a single fraction in its lowest term. So what we do, we write what's the question under consideration. We have 1 over x minus 4 minus 2 over 5x minus 1. So we get our common denominator there, which will be x minus 4, 5x minus 1 in that. So just get this, get that put there. And then together in that order it becomes the common denominator. So 4 minus, x minus 4 into that whole common denominator. So that x minus 4 cancels x minus 4 there. So you remain with 1 open bracket and you just get that one. So if you are dealing with this one, just pick up that one, which will be 5x minus 1 minus the 2 that is on top there. 5x minus 1 into the common denominator, so that and that cancels each other, so meaning you just pick up this other one. So you have open bracket x minus 4. So now you multiply 1 times 5x, you get 5x minus 1 times 1, 1. Negative 2 times x, you get negative 2x, and then you now have negative 2 times negative 4, which will give you positive 8 over the whole common denominator x minus 4 there, open, close, open, 5x minus 1 in that way. Group the like terms. 5x minus 2x minus 1 plus 8 over x minus 4, 5x minus 1. 5x minus 2x gives you 3x plus 7 over the whole common denominator. And that becomes your answer. Alright, so now we have concluded, we have finished answering all the questions that came in the internal paper for 2017. Now we are going to move on to solving the 2017 GCE papers that we are on Algebra. So we begin solving the 2017 GCE paper 2 Algebra questions. And the first question in this paper was question 2A, which reads as follows: simplify m squared minus 1 over m squared minus m. So I'm going to write what is important for us to consider when calculating. We write m squared minus 1 over m squared minus m. So that one quickly, we notice that for the top one, it's okay, we leave it the way it is, m squared minus 1 over the bottom one. We quickly notice that m is common. So we factorize, or we factor out the m, which is common. So you have m over m minus 1. So the one on top now, on our third step, we come back to this one, and what we notice is that this is a difference of two squares. So what you do for that one is you do m minus 1, m plus 1. Over m open bracket m minus 1. Having done that, you notice that this and this is the same, so we cancel out in that way, and we remain with m plus 1 over m as our answer. That was question 2A 2017 GCE. We go to the next algebra question which we had in 2017 GCE, which was question 4A. Question 4A. Question 4A reads, express 3 over 5x minus 2 minus 2 over x plus 3 as a single fraction in its simplest form. So I'm going to write what to consider, what to solve. 3 over 5x minus 2 minus 2 over x plus 3. We are solving that and writing it as a single fraction. So we remember to bring down our common denominator there. And like we've been doing in the other papers, what to do is you make sure that that and that combine together to form the common denominator in that way. Having done that, we say 5x minus 2 into the common denominator. You put your 3, because it's this one, it will cancel out that other 5x minus 2 that is in the common denominator, meaning you only remain with this one. So you indicate in that order, minus 2, which is on top, open bracket, x plus 3 into that common denominator, it cancels out that one, so you only remain with this one, so you do 5x minus 2. Multiply the values outside the bracket with everything that is inside to get the answer. So you do 3 times x, you get 3x, plus 3 times 3, you get your 9 there. Then negative 2 times 5x, you get negative 10x, negative 2 times negative 2, you get positive 4, over the whole common denominator, 5x minus 2, x plus 3, in that way. Having done that, we group the like terms on top there. So grouping the like terms, we have 3x minus 10x plus 9 plus 4 over 5x minus 2 x plus 3. 3x minus 10x, it gives us negative 7x plus 13 over 5x minus 2 x plus 3. So that is our answer. That's our final answer. We go to the next question. The next question on algebra in 2017 GCE was question 10C. Question 10C. And question 10C says simplify p squared q cubic over 4 times 8 over p q divided by 2p squared q. So I'll write that for us here. We're now looking at question 10C. 10C, and the question is p squared q cubic over 4 times 8 over PQ divided by 2P squared Q. Okay, so when solving, we quickly notice that that can be put over 1 in that way. Then maybe before we even go any further, we'll just sort out that in advance. We can do P squared Q cubic over 4 times 8 over PQ divided by, we change the division sign to multiplication, and it becomes 1 over 2P squared Q. In that way. Having done that now, our next thing that we do, let's finish it up this other side, is that we are going to expand what we have to get the answer. So you have P squared, P times P times Q times Q times Q over 4 multiplied by 8 over P times Q multiplied by 1 over 2 times P times Q. So now we check our diagonals and we cancel out what is common. So already 4 there, 1, 4 there, 2, P there, 1, P there, 1, P there, 1, P there, 1. Okay, Q there, 1, Q there, 1. And another Q there, 1, cancelling that other Q there, 1. So on top we have 1, 1, 1, 1 Q. So Q times 2 times 1, we're talking of 2Q over 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times P times 1, looking at P. So that comes out, or rather emerges, as our final answer. And that marks the end of the algebra questions that were in the GCE paper for 2017. We move on now to finish up the last year in this video, which will be the 2018 algebra questions. 2018 internal paper 2 algebra questions. The first algebraic question came as question number 5A, and it reads: simplify b minus a over a squared minus b squared. So let's dive into this one. So it was question 5A, and it's b minus a over a squared minus b squared. The top part is okay, we let it be, there is nothing we can do, but down there it's a difference of two squares. So as we always do, a minus b, a plus b. That is what we get. Right, when we get that, we now look at what we have on top. So on top we have b minus a over, open bracket, a minus b, close, open bracket, a plus b. So we are going to work around the arrangement of what is on top there. We bring the a in front and the b should be the other side. So this negative a comes in front, we have negative a in that way, then it will give us plus b there, over a minus b, a plus b. So what is common there is a negative 1, so you can fact out negative 1 in that way, which will give inside a minus b over a minus b, a plus b. If we do that, we can say that and that is common, so we have our answer being negative 1 over a plus b. That is our final answer. Next question under 2018 internal. The next question was question 7b, and question 7b said express 3 over x plus 1 minus 2 over x minus 1 as a single fraction in its lowest terms. So I'm going to write that. We are going to write the question is question 7b, and we are dealing with 3 over x plus 1 minus 2 over x minus 1 as a single fraction. So common denominator, everything that is there, those will be our common denominators. So 3 there, x plus 1 into that common denominator, it cancels that, so we have in there x minus 1, then negative 2, open bracket, then you pick this around, which is this side. 3 times x, 3x, minus 3, negative 2 times x, negative 2x, minus 2 over x plus 1, x minus 1. Group the like terms, 3x minus 2x minus 3 minus 2 over x plus 1, x minus 1. Subtract that, we get x minus 5 over x plus 1, x minus 5 over x plus 1, x minus 1. Nothing can be done on top there, nothing can be done down there, so this becomes our final answer. The last question in the 2018 internal paper was question 8c, which said simplify 12dn cubic over 15cd cubic divided by 9c cubic n over 10c squared d squared. So our question was 8c, and we are considering 12d n cubic over 15 cd cubic divided by 9 cn over 10c squared d squared. So quickly we do that, over 15 cd cubic times, we swap the denominator, the numerator there, so the denominator goes on top, over, okay, having reached that part, now we expand. 12 times d times n times n times n over 15 times C times D times D times D times 10 times C times C times D times D over 9 times C times C times C times N. And quickly we check the diagonals to cancel out what's common. So already we know, if we look at this and this, there's a 3 that is common. So 3 there, 4, 3 there, 3. Then N there, 1, N there, 1. Check the other diagonals also there. We have 10 and 15, there's the 5 common, so 5 there, 2, 5 there, 3. C there, 1, C there, 1. D there, 1, D there, 1. D there, 1, D there, 1. So we have a D remaining there. Okay, so on this one, you can even say C there, 1, C there, 1. So we have 2 C's remaining there. Okay, so 4 times 3, which will be a 9. Then we have C squared. That becomes our answer in that way. (2018) GCE Paper 2 Algebra question. The first question on algebra in this paper came under question 2, and it said simplify 7st to the power 3 over 15u cubic v squared times 5u cubic v over 28s3t squared. So to solve that one, well, first and foremost, write the number, question number you're answering, then let's write our question in that way. Having written the question that way, we are going to expand. Okay, so there we have it. We've expanded. Let's check now the diagonals and tells out what is common. So 5 there, 1, 5 there, 3, U there, 1, U there, 1, U there, 1, and that's 1 there. There is another U there, 1, U there, 1. Then V is 1, V, 1 there. So that's it with the diagonals on top. We come the other side. Okay, 7 there, 1, 7 there, 4. S there, 1, S there, 1. T there, 1, T there, 1. T there, 1, T there, 1. So now we check what row we have on top. 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times T. We have T. T times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. So we just have a T there over 3 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, 3. 3 times 4, 12. 12 times 1, 12. Times S times S is 12s squared. So we have 12s squared being our answer. So we've solved question 2a under algebra, and we do the last question that came under the 2018 paper GCE. It was question 12a, and it said express 3 over 2x minus 5 minus 4 over x minus 3 as a single fraction in its lowest terms. So I'm indicating the number there, and it was 3 over 2x minus 5 minus 4 over x minus 3. So we are supposed to write that as a single fraction. So we do our common denominator first. So we have 2x minus 5 x minus 3. 2x minus 5 cancels 2x minus 5 there, so you remain with x minus 3 minus 4 open bracket. X minus 3 cancels x minus 3 there, so you remain with 2x minus 5. Multiply, you get 3x minus 9 minus 8x plus 20 over 2x minus 5 x minus 3. Group the like terms, and you have 3x minus 8x minus 9 plus 20 over 2x minus 9, or pardon me, 2x minus 5, our common denominator there, x minus 3. Subtract that, get negative 5x plus 11 over 2x minus 5 x minus 3 as your answer. That marks the end of the 2018 paper in terms of answering the algebra questions that came.